Hey, the Winchester Model 94. The reason it was called the 94 was because John Browning invented it in 1894, but everybody just calls it the 94, Winchester 94. Winchesters were most famous, 1894, I'm sorry, were most famous for their 30-30 caliber. This one is a 32 Winchester Special. I'll go into that here in a minute, but also I wanted to let you know before I go any farther that this was my grandfather's rifle. I never knew my grandfather on that side of the family. He passed away earlier in the year I was born, which is why my middle name is what it is. But anyway, this was my grandfather's. Uh, so this was my grandfather's gun, and what's funny is I showed all of those previously, the World War II guns, and talked about how old they were. This gun beats it. This gun is a 1938 model. So this gun's actually older than those World War II guns that I was showing. But anyway, the Model 94 was mostly famous for the 30-30. Matter of fact, when you talk about Winchester 94 or 30-30 pops up into my head at least. But this one, like I said, is a 32 Winchester Special. And I'll tell you a little bit about that here in a minute. But let me show you the modern version. So this is a Winchester Model 94 also. This one is in the 30-30, the famous 30-30. This gun is probably a 1990 something version, but very close to the same. I'll lay them down here together and we'll compare them. So here they are in comparison. As you can see, they're pretty much the same. You can tell the top one has been used a little bit more, but it didn't make a whole lot of changes. Like I said, mine newer one on the bottom is 30-30 and the top one's a 32 Special. Just a couple more things about the Winchester 94. It has the recognition as being the first gun to go from a black powder cartridge to a smokeless powder. Somebody very smart, or people very smart, invented smokeless powder. And this gun, when it first came out, like I said, was before the 1900s, shot black powder cartridges. Well, it was the first production gun to ever switch to a smokeless powder, which opened up a whole new world for shooters and hunters. The Model 94 was also the very first production rifle to sell over 7 million guns. And I'm going to have to look at some notes here because what's really cool is, well, and I don't want to get it wrong, the 1 millionth gun off the assembly line went to President Calvin Coolidge. He was our president at the time. He got the 1 millionth. And then at 1.5 million, that one went to our president, Harry Truman. And then at 2 million, Dwight D. Eisenhower got it. And that was in 1953. So, yeah, this gun has been around a long time, and it's very, I think, classy looking. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the 32 Winchester Special versus the 30-30. So this is the 30-30. It's considered a medium high-powered rifle. Not huge, nothing big like that. And that was the original bullet that came in the 94, Model 94. Well, somebody thought, let's make and a 30-30 is 0.30 of an inch across. That's where the 30-30 comes from. So someone thought, hey, let's beef it up. Let's make a 32 Winchester Special for more power. This is the 32 Winchester Special. Pretty much looks identical. Well, Winchester came out with the 32, I believe it was in 1901. And I don't know if they did it to try to compete with the 30-30, but they're both their ammo. Winchester came out with both of these. So Winchester did the 32 special and was telling hunters and shooters that, hey, here's a 32 Winchester special. They were claiming, what I've read, that it was 10 to 20% more powerful than the 30-30, which they might have been exaggerating a little bit, because later on, pretty much everyone found out that maybe 5%. The calibers are so close that it's really hard to tell a difference. The 32 is a little bit bigger, maybe a little more power when it hits, but at longer distances, the 30-30 being a lighter bullet and more aerodynamic might go a little farther. So anyway, I think Winchester was trying to pull one over just because it was a bigger number, but it turns out if you try to go buy 32 Winchester Special ammo, you are probably going to have a hard time finding it. You are not just going to go into Walmart and pick up a box. I'm sure it's around somewhere. I have some reloading dies so I can make my own, which that's going to be another video sometime. I want to talk about reloading. 30-30 ammo, you can still find it everywhere. I don't believe anyone is producing a 32 Winchester Special rifle anymore. And I think it's getting hard to find the ammo. But anyway, that's the story of the 32 Winchester Special. Supposed to be more powerful, turned out to be pretty much the same, and I think people just stuck with the 30-30. So we're going to do a very unscientific test. We're going to take the Winchester 94 in the new, well, back then the new 32 Winchester Special. We're going to compare it to the Winchester 94 shooting the 30-30. Like I said, this is not going to be a scientific. I think we're going to put some blocks up there and see if they go through the same amount of 2x4s or close to it, or we're just going to try something different. Well, that's one block. No problem at all. Let's try 2 blocks. Okay, block number 2 went through the second one. As you can see, it actually split. So I'm going to see if we can go through just this one. Let's go for 3 blocks. Okay, so that's the first block that we've seen. Now it's all split. There's a second block that went through. I did switch that one out. Third block went through it too. I don't know if I got enough wood. We'll try the fourth. Okay, I got the little pieces stacked together. I'm gonna see if I can shoot through them because I didn't bring this much wood down. Wasn't sure how many it was gonna go through, but we'll see if we can get the angle to hit all those little pieces. Okay, I'm pretty much making kindling wood here. Yeah, it seems to have gone all through all 4. So what we're going to do, we're just going to load a 32 up and see if it'll go through 4 of them. But yeah, that pretty much just chewed up all that wood. Okay, let's see if the 32 can make it through all 4 blocks. And that would be a yes. These are the 4 it went through. So we're just blowing wood up here. So I don't know if I can get a 5th one up there or not. Maybe we'll try a 5th one if I can figure out how to balance them. And after that, we'll just take a couple regular shots. So which is more powerful? I don't know. They blew through all the blocks I put up there. But this test did tell you one thing, which I always found this funny. You're watching old Western movies. You know, they flip over a table in a saloon and hide behind it. I mean, that stuff's maybe an inch thick. Inch thick is not going to stop any guns. So if you're trying to hide from getting shot by a Western cowboy in a saloon, you're gonna need a lot of tables. One last thing about this really cool 1938 .32 Winchester Special. And the Winchester 94 is, that deer there was shot by my grandfather with that gun. Like I said, I never met him, but and actually taxidermy's come a long way. And he's kind of a little bit dusty and dirty, but yeah, that was a buck my grandfather got with that very gun, way before I was born.